In this video, I want to focus on our first year on YouTube, bringing the joy of data analysis to millions, well, hundreds, tens of people on YouTube. I will, of course, show you some more data just to describe how we did in the first year and what to expect going forward. So my background is in academia, so I'm a professor in finance. And initially, my focus was very much on publishing textbooks. So I went to traditional publishers and had discussions around doing textbooks in applied statistics. Sadly, I discovered that the arrangements favor publishers, but not necessarily authors, and certainly not potential customers, because the prices are simply too high. So I thought, let's try something else. Let's try to engage more directly. So I started YUNIKARN, a publishing company, and I focused on YouTube to simply develop and test content, which I then developed into online material and ebooks, which can be cheaply distributed online. I have to say YouTube is really tough. It's quite demanding, and I certainly understand that people can quickly burn out. For me, the main thing to understand was to optimize my work stream and simply produce in bulk to ensure a weekly upload of high quality material. At least mostly high quality. Well, some is a bit trashy, that's fine. That's part of the experience. And of course I had to learn a lot about editing and recording. I strongly recommend to look at DaVinci Resolve, which is a free editing software, and OBS Studio, if you haven't done so, a free recording software. Both are absolutely fantastic and entirely for free. I still don't understand why many companies and also universities spend lots and lots of money on buying software which actually is out there just available for free. In terms of subscribers, we went from nothing to more than 1,000 after 1 year, which is quite impressive. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Of course, being a data nerd, I try to fit trends to it because I also want to do some forecasting. Sadly, it looks very much like a linear trend. Now, linear trends are bad news for growth because, well, they don't really indicate high growth in future. So put differently, if I ever make it to 1 million subscribers, I would expect it to take 980 years. Now that seems to be rather unlikely, but well, let's keep our fingers crossed, let's hope for the best, but yeah, it's most likely not going to happen. It looks better on the views, so the views are non-linear. I love non-linear stuff because non-linear is much more fun when it comes to forecasting. And here I fitted a second order polynomial, and you see a very nice agreement with the views, and if that is true, the growth would be quite substantial going forward. But let's see what happens. We will anyway check on these forecasts next year if I'm still up and running. Now, many people argue you should share your videos on other social platforms to enhance viewership. My experience is a little bit mixed on that. So here are my figures for followers on other social media. The impact is quite small. And to be honest, over time, the dominant force is simply YouTube itself, mostly through search and externally through Google search. So this accounts for about 60% of all views. So put differently, I don't think you should really bother, except you also like to engage with other people on social media. Now, what are the top 5 countries watching the joy of data analysis? Country number 5, can you guess it? Here we go. Pakistan, accounting for 0.6% of views. Now, the next one, number 4, my home country, Germany. 0.9% of views, so that's actually quite interesting. Then number 3, now we go to the top 3, UK. Okay, that's not a big surprise. Well, this is basically, of course, my home turf in a way. And then the US, well, again, that's one of the biggest YouTube markets, I think number 2 in the world, so it makes sense. And number 1, well, you might have guessed it, it is India. Here we go. 10.8%. Yes, actually, when you look at this, it makes perfect sense for me to improve my Hindi. At least I will be able to understand a bit of Urdu, hopefully. Let's see how this goes. At the moment, my language abilities are entirely for entertainment purpose. Next steps, hopefully there will be more content on unikarn.com. So at the moment we have ebooks and 2 courses running, one on applied time series modeling using Stata, one which is an introduction to data science using Stata. You get 50% still off using Data Nerd all capital in the case of the applied time series modeling course. I also offer some coaching, but this is entirely for professionals and businesses. Then I'm working on a free Udemy course where I just will introduce starters. I want to make this a short course. This might happen sometime in June, July if I have enough time. I want to definitely work more with other people on YouTube, in particular Julian, who is running his own channel focused on statistics. He is a big fan of R, so we want to work on a playlist focused on simulations. I'm also thinking about another playlist on econophysics. So econophysics is kind of a hobby of mine where you use methods developed in statistical physics and try to apply them to social science. Just leave a comment down below if you want to have some other material covered. I will certainly look into it. Enjoy the joy of data analysis.